Though stumbled out of the gates with double at the first hole today, out in 39, and the leader is Carrera. Plays college golf in Orlando, Florida at UCF. De Oliveira having a good go with an eagle at number 6. It is round 2 of the Latin America Amateur Championship. For the first time ever, the premier amateur event in this region arrives in Puerto Rico. Soft landing in the middle of hard winter. Ideal spot for the Latin America Amateur Championship. 108 standouts from 28 countries and territories with talent and dreams. The prize here, an opportunity to play the Masters, US Open, and the Open. Pressure-packed week. Life-changing for one. Under the sweet sun in Puerto Rico, it's the 8th playing of the Latin America Amateur Championship. The Masters Tournament, in partnership with the RNA and USGA, proudly presents the 2023 Latin America Amateur Championship. Well, we love this sport not just for the great play we get to see week in, week out, but for where it takes us to places like Puerto Rico in January on a day like this. It's ideal. About 80 degrees and sunny. Fresh breeze off the Caribbean. Grand Reserve Golf Club in Rio Grande on the northeastern side of the island, about 30 miles east of San Juan. It was designed by Tom Kite, site of the PGA Tour's Puerto Rico Open in March. Part of 72 plays between 72 and 7,300 yards. Wind the primary defense here, and it is in excellent condition. Rich Lerner pleased to be alongside two-time U.S. Open champion Andy North, U.S. Amateur champion Colt Knost, former Ladies European Tour professional Iona Stephen, and the one and only John Sutcliffe with interviews throughout the day. You out live now to the 8th fairway. And this is a man from Argentina and the University of Arkansas, Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira. He was a runner-up a year ago, Andy. Got a lot of game.
He definitely does that. This 8th hole is a par 4 that yesterday was the easiest hole on the golf course. The players really took advantage of it. I think it's going to be a little bit different today based on the left-hand hole location.
Colt Knost is down on the ground following this group.
He was very aggressive off the tee, has just 95 yards left to this back left hole location. This one needs to get down a little, spin.
Yeah, did just that.
He is locked in right now, this 8th hole. As Colt says, you take driver, take it all the way up the hole. It's a little bit narrower there, or you can lay back and play in with a 9-iron or so. So it really is a beautiful short par 4.
Real jump start in this second round here at the 6th hole. This is a par 5. This is his 3rd shot, and go ahead, youngster, and do that. Yes. Eagle for Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira.
That hole plays enough into the wind. We won't see many players reaching it too, but he had a perfect position and took advantage of it.
In good 2022, he was runner-up to Austin Greaser at the Western Amateur, and then 4-0-0 for the winning international side in the Arnold Palmer Cup in Switzerland.
He's really played some good college golf so far this year, a lot of top 15 finishes, so his game is a nice place, and he's wearing that Masters shirt. Maybe he's thinking about something. And what great news yesterday, the U.S. Open, USGA announced that the winner also gets in the U.S. Open, so now 3 major championships the winner gets in. Fantastic.
As many as the U.S. Amateur.
Absolutely.
Underscoring the USGA's commitment to golf around the world. So here we go. Latin American Amateur Champion will go to the Masters, the Open, the U.S. Open, the Amateurs at Hillside in England, U.S. Amateur next year as well. That's at Cherry Hills in Denver, Colorado, where you know a little bit about Cherry Hills in Denver, don't you?
Yeah, they've got some really great iced tea there.
Come on. 1978 U.S. Open winner.
100 years ago, but what a summer. I mean, what a year to win this thing, and you'll be some serious planning what you're going to do the rest of the year. Yeah, and I think this is a really cool that the winner of this event, there's going to be some named professionals that won't qualify for all 3 of those major championships. So this is really a feather in their cap.
And that's Julian Perico from Peru.
We've seen him play some really, really good golf over the last 5 or 6 years of this championship. Always in contention.
Julian was the midweight point leader a year ago at Costa de Campo, set a 36-hole scoring record, had a tough third round of 80.
He will let you know how he's feeling.
Yeah, on rare occasions when you cover an event, that it seems like a sentiment or a groundswell builds around one player. In the last couple of years, it's been Perico because he's grown up at this championship. I remember Panama when he was 17, he shot 64.
He's kind of the go-to guy for a lot of the college coaches to help him recruit players to their colleges.
Tejera.
And guys, he needs to get something going. Shot 3 over yesterday, 1 over early in his round today. Should have got a pretty good idea off Perico's putt.
Colt, we had really great playing conditions yesterday. It looks like the wind might blow a little bit more today.
This is more what I'm used to in Puerto Rico. Definitely blowing a little harder today. We'll see if it stays up throughout the day, though.
Now with the leader, Luis Carrera at 18, and let's welcome in Iona Stephen.
Good afternoon, and yes, you might be used to this, Colt, in Puerto Rico. I'm used to this kind of wind in Scotland. It's blowing a hoolie out here from the right in this direction for Luis Carrera from Mexico. 23-year-olds going along nicely this afternoon.
Played 3 really nice shots into 18.
De Oliveira back at the 8th.
Good look here from about 12 feet. You mentioned the chip in back there at 6. Speaking to his college coach, Brad McMakin, says he's got one of the best short games he's ever seen, and that includes PGA Tour players. And obviously a very comfortable grouping. 2 of these guys are teammates at the University of Arkansas.
Actually hear the wind blowing in the microphones out there, where we didn't have that at all yesterday. So obviously it's going to blow a little bit more today and cause some problems. He back dogs Augusta. You can see his shirt blow a little bit harder. It's got to be blowing, what, 15 to 20 now, Cole?
Yeah, it's just, and it's gusty. It just keeps coming and going. I think that's what's a little unsettling for these guys. They get over it and it's blowing pretty good, then it stops. But I don't think it's at the point where it's affecting the putts yet.
Well, it's great to back off, start all over again, and beautiful putt.
3 under the last 3 holes for the Argentine. And he's now tied for the lead here, round 2 of the Latin America Amateur Championship. Big Razorback presence, always, it seems, at this championship. We saw Segundo Olivo Pinto. He's been close a few times. Shot even par yesterday. Perico, and then Manuel Lozada. He's from Argentina. He's having a good championship as well. He went out in 34 on the other side and is currently 5 under par, along with De Oliveira. And here he is, Manuel Lozada at the 2nd.
It's a beautiful par 3. Holes cut in the right center of this green today. Just over a little ridge, actually quite close to that ridge, so he's going to have to worry about some speed coming up over that ridge, coming down that hill to the hole. But another really quality player, understands how to get it done.
Perico really responsible, as you mentioned, for sort of recruiting more Latin players to come to the University of Arkansas. Now Cancino this for birdie at the 10th.
Yesterday, the 10th hole was one of the more difficult holes. I think it's going to play that way today. Really a tough hole location, just on the front right corner of the screen. Just a very small, flat area. Anything a little bit to the right runs off the green, and anything left runs down into that little valley where he just putted from.
Cancino was teammates at Lynn University in South Florida with former LAAC champion Toto Gana. So 58 U.S. colleges represented in this field.
72 players.
Now Carrera, this to reclaim the lead.
Beautiful approach shot in from Carrera, right up the throat of the flagstick. Just falling off balance a little bit, so exposed this green with that wind kind of howling from right to left. Solid par though.
It wouldn't be a surprise if he won. He was tied for 5th last week, the South American Amateur in Ecuador. He won the Canadian Amateur last year. Born and raised Mexico City.
How about the players coming from Ecuador? They played at over 9,000 feet. Now they're at sea level. You got to adjust your game a little bit for that.
That's at the 9th tee.
This one, using that left to right wind and riding it, should be good. Perfect.
He's buttoned up, De Oliveira. Smart, good approach and attitude. Here's Perico.
He wastes no time, just gets in there and grips it and rips it. I like his University of Arkansas guy, John Daly.
I really do enjoy watching him play. He owns his game. It's not a golf swing you'd teach anybody, but he just goes out there and does it exceptionally well.
He knows he goes in and then over the line he says, I'll never change it. I can't.
You know, there's something to be said for players having a certain DNA that once you start messing with that, you've got some problems.
Rather interesting story for Omar. I mean, turned professional, now a reinstated amateur. Has a really nice game. He's lost this one a little right.
Omar's going to have to fight to make the cut. Low 50 in ties, beginning with 108. It is a 72-hole championship. This will be a treat this afternoon. We'll get a chance to watch these two guys. They can really go. Some personality as well. And they're hunting one of the biggest prizes in amateur golf right here in Puerto Rico. The Latin America Amateur Championship is brought to you by Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? IBM, let's create. AT&T, fast, reliable, and secure. Mercedes-Benz, electric made extraordinary. featured groups today in our second round coverage of the Latin America Amateur Championship. Argentina, Panama, and Peru. De Oliveira, Tejera, and company. All right, now Geronimo Esteve from the home territory here, Puerto Rico. He's a good player. He won the Caribbean Amateur on this golf course. Good start yesterday. And at 41, cannot be discounted. Miguel Ordonez won under yesterday's veteran of this championship from Panama, and a great guy. Out to the second hole, and Lozada. E2 from Argentina. Argentina saw part of that Arkansas contingent. Redshirt sophomore. Okay, nice lag. He missed all of last season after breaking his left ankle in a motorcycle accident. Did not play golf for 4 months.
He's made a nice comeback from that. Really well-judged speed coming down over that ridge. Greens are running at 10, 10 and a half. Just a nice, comfortable speed. They can't get him too quick here because the wind can blow 25 miles an hour quite frequently, so you've got to be a little careful in the golf course setup. But they're a nice holing speed. You can be aggressive, and you don't have to worry about the ball running back by too far.
Players raving about the condition. And back to the ninth. Colt, you played here a number of times, the Puerto Rico Open, PGA Tour. What do you like about the golf course?
It's really fun to play. It gives you plenty of room off the tee, so if you're driving it well, you can really take advantage of it. But actually, it makes you use every club in your bag, which is something I know that the people that are setting the golf course up love to see. But it can get to blowing. When it gets to blowing, it plays tough.
Omar's 32 years old, one of 5 in the field representing Panama.
I believe he's going to be first to go. He has to lay up. The other two are going to be able to give it a go.
We've got a great look from behind him. 2 palm trees he's going to have to shoot between.
And Andy, you just hate missing the fairway on these par 5s because you know if you put it in play, you can really take advantage of them.
Well, I think that's really the key to the golf course. Even though a couple of them might not be reachable depending on the wind, you can get it right around the green. A couple of the other ones will be. No matter what the direction, you'll have at least 2 of the par 5s you can reach it to. So, you know, you've got to get 3, 4 under on those if you expect to win this.
Yeah, we talked to Fred Biondi after his round yesterday. You know, he shot 2 under par, but parred all the par 5s. And that was the first thing he said when we talked to him. He's like, played the par 5s terrible. So these guys know they got to pick up a few on them each day.
De Oliveira in the meantime.
268 hole, 255 to the front. That was hit on the button right at the center of the green.
Carried it well onto the green. Really a nice play all the way to the back edge, but what a nice play.
Chance for a second eagle today. Absolutely one of the favorites coming in, De Oliveira. And now Tejera.
A little jammed up over there. I would assume this has to be a layup. Has right around 255 to the hole. This one came out very low and headed towards that bunker short left of the green.
It's going to be just short of it, so that'll be just fine.
Yeah, Perico doesn't mess around. He gets after it.
I don't even think the other ball had stopped yet. Perico, there it is.
Oh, what a shot. Yeah.
For the record, he had 246.
Yeah, well, now he's got 4.
He has a chance to jump to the lead here. Perico's already made 3 birdies. A chance to go out if he makes that putt in 531.
I think this is a great pairing for these 2 teammates. Play a lot of golf together. They can, you know, you can play off of each other, and they're both playing well, and that really makes it for a nice day.
Well, we have a moment. Let's go down to the final member of our team, John Sutcliffe.
Gracias, Rich. This tournament is about opportunities, and not just on the golf course, outside of the golf course also. Santiago de la Fuente from Jalisco, Mexico, who's playing well again in this tournament. A few years ago, he went to Guadalajara Country Club, home for Lorena Ochoa, for Carlos Ortiz, and shot the course record. Then he got contacted through social media, through Instagram, by the coach of Arkansas Tech. He was offered a scholarship Division II. He said, I'll take it, but I need 100% scholarship. I can't handle the expenses. So last year, when he's playing well in Casa de Campo, he wanted to be seen. And that happened. Yes, he was a putt away from going into a playoff, but now he got a scholarship with the University of Houston, Division I. Better facilities, better quality tournaments, and now he's back. And he wants to do what another player from Guadalajara Country Club did, Alvaro Ortiz, win the Latin American Amateur. Yes, golf gives you a lot of opportunities, but Santiago de la Fuente got a scholarship thanks to this tournament.
Yep.
So many opportunities, Andy.
Well, the fact that 72 of the players that are in this tournament are either currently playing golf or going to play next year in the States or have graduated. So great opportunities, and these young men have taken advantage of it.
And De La Fuente, a little bit later this afternoon, he's playing beautiful golf at 5 under par. And there's a good shot right there from Carrera. Now Cancino, third shot, par 5 11th.
Yeah, he's really in a nice position, a lot of green to work with. Fairly simple pitch, and he played it very nicely. Nothing like having a chance pitching up there and just walking up and raking it in and not have to put any pressure on yourself. Another one of the wonderful players from Chile. We've seen 3 champions from there.
Tejera. So he had a really good college career at St. Thomas University in South Florida, then turned professional, played the PGA Tour Latino America, but he suffered a herniated disc in his neck in 2017, and that took him out of professional golf. He is now a successful businessman, has a company that helps other businesses digitally, and he's able to combine his business with his golf, and he's really enjoying it.
I'm not sure how much he's going to enjoy this shot, though. He has 58 yards out of the rough, downwind, and the green runs away from him, so he's going to have to throw this way up in the air. That's pretty good from there.
He did really well.
Absolutely. And he's going to give Perico a nice little read. So let's take a closer look at how the club enters the grass. Catches it. You see how quickly that ball jumps up in the air. Some spin on it. Caught it in the upper half of the club, which is really what you want to do when you're trying to hit it softly like that.
Back to the third end, Lozado.
It's a good par 4. So much dictates how the holes play based on the hole location. Today it's in the front right-hand corner, which brings that front bunker into play. That'll be a tough hole to get close to today.
So we were in Casa de Campo a year ago, and we're about 200 miles east this time in Puerto Rico, U.S. territory, northeastern side. 30 miles east of the capital city of San Juan, we have great views of El Yunque National Forest, really pretty spot, the sea, the mangroves, and the mountains. And we're right about 80 degrees. You may get a passing shower here or there, but it's pleasant, Andy.
We apologize for everybody in the Midwest and the Northeast. This is a wonderful place to be this time of year. Wonderful golf course. The players have really loved this facility. You can see the wind is picking up. Historically here, it can blow very easily 20, 25 at any point in time of the day. Golf course was designed around the wind when Tom Kite built it.
And if you're thinking about it, you have the Itch. It's an easy flight, about 3 hours and a little bit from New York. Here we are with Fernandez de Oliveira. This for eagle to jump to 9 under. It would be a second eagle. Chipped it in at the 6th.
And guys, something you don't see every day, he actually took out his rangefinder and shot how far he is from this hole. So obviously there's a method to his madness and knows exactly how hard to hit this.
Big breaker from left to right.
Oh, I think that was a miss hit. This has got to go. And you ever seen anybody use a rangefinder on a putt?
No, actually, you know, it's fairly simple just to step those off. Well, we know you can't use elevation change, so he wasn't trying to figure that it was downhill. Yeah, you don't see that very often. Colt, that may give you something to pull out in a game when you're playing with your buddies at home. You know, from like 12 feet to get the right distance.
I'm kind of more on Julian Perico's side. I just step up and slap it.
This has got to break from left to right going down the hill fairly quick. Just a little less speed, it would have gone in.
Obviously not the start he wanted, but now the goal is just to get to the weekend.
Now Luis Carrera, birdie putt at the first to be the first to 8 under par.
Yes. He's got to break a little right to left. You see he's aimed down the right of the hole. Boy, what a beautiful putt. The greens are rolling absolutely perfect. You don't see any bobbles. If you get it started on your line, you're going to make it.
Perico, after that sensational second shot for eagle.
I wish I could have seen it.
Just a smidge easier, and it goes in.
You know, I might have him do some special guest commentary today. He comes over after every shot to talk to me and tell me about his shot.
Well, just keep your mic open.
I don't think that's safe.
Yeah, really clean 4 under par front.
Ozada at the third.
Fairly straightforward bunker shot. Back into the wind a little bit. You're a little bit sweaty. The last thing you want to do is hit a bunker shot into the wind. The sand comes back and gets on, and you're wearing it the rest of the day.
Now back at the 9th. This as well to tie for the lead. De Oliveira for birdie.
Obviously not the putt he wanted for his eagle attempt, but guys, he just continues to give himself great opportunity after great opportunity. His game looks to be in really good form.
There it is. He goes out in 4 under 32. He plays the last 4 holes of this opening side in 4 under par. One of the pre-championship favorites, right where he expected to be, and this guy as well, his teammate at Arkansas. Woo! It's a good one early in round 2 from Puerto Rico.
What a beautiful place. The mountains literally just 10 miles away. One of the great rainforests in the world. Up in that area, they get rain literally all day long. Some amazing hiking. Now here's Lozada to save his par at the 3rd hole. See the wind just buffeting this green. Oh, leaks it in. Good save. Not happy at all with his second shot in the front-hand bunker, but got it up and in. So he's off to a terrific start today. A couple of birdies, the rest pars. I think that's really the key to this golf course. That there are going to be some birdie opportunities, but there are also some holes you can make some messes. And if you can keep it in the fairway and around the greens and eliminate any of the squares on your card, you're going to have a great week. Nice look back at the 10th tee, the clubhouse. Both 1 and 10 are pretty good starting holes. They both were in the top 6 most difficult holes yesterday. It's, you know, you'd like it a little softer start, but got to put it in the fairway in both those holes if you want to get off to a solid play. And here, second is a par 3 way over left. The third hole is that we just saw the green. It runs along the trees on the left. Then they turn back and play 4 with the water on both sides. Then they
Beautiful par 3, this second hole. 187 yards today, and the wind is just coming down off the right-hand side.
What a shot. Carrera starting to pepper some flag sticks. Give you a look at the 10th, Andy.
Yeah, the 10th hole, as we were just talking about, is really a nice, solid starting hole on the back. Bunker down the left, 281 to there. You'd love to keep it in that landing zone, around that 150-yard mark. Most of the players can't get to that second bunker. I think the key to this hole today is this right front hole location. So it's a little teeny tabletop up there, no more than about 20 feet by 20 feet. Anything left of it runs down away from the hole. Anything to the right gets off the green, and now you've got a tough shot getting it up and in. But it's going to be critical to get it close to that hole. You better be in the fairway.
So 2 at 8 under par, early second round, Latin America Amateur Championship from Grand Reserve Golf Club in Puerto Rico. One of the 4 biggest amateur events in the world, along with the U.S. Amateur, the Amateur, Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Long walk from 9 to 10, Andy.
It is definitely that. When the wind really gets blowing, it blows hard left to right on this hole. And most players don't like that wind blowing over your back.
These guys are all seasoned competitors. They travel the amateur circuit here in Latin America, United States, occasionally over in Europe. There are 31 players in this field who participated in the South America Team Championship, Amateur Team Championship in Brazil. Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira, part of that team from Argentina to have won it. And so Aaron Jarvis shot even par yesterday. His brother Andrew, 2 under par from the Cayman Islands. That'd be something if we had back-to-back Jarvis brothers winning it. 28 different countries and territories represented. And there are some in the field, you know, who don't have all of that experience, who aren't shooting the best scores, but they're getting the experience, taking what they learned back home and helping to grow the game.
Well, I think that's really the key, is that, and here's Andrew Jarvis. Yeah.
Yes, we saw Dad Robin early this morning. He said they wore him out yesterday. He was following both, but he's having the time of his life. Really proud, as you would expect, of his 2 boys. Now de Oliveira.
Andy, as you mentioned, that wind in off the left.
Why not?
No problem for de Oliveira. This one is beautiful.
He looks like he's in complete control of his golf swing, Colt.
Yeah, and Andy, I think the part of this golf course you really got to take advantage of is 6 through 14. With this, the 10th being probably the hardest hole in that stretch.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Perico's got this one headed up the right. Should be okay. I could play some golf with him. We could fly around in about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Just barely into the right-hand rough. Not the easiest fairway to hit because of that left to right wind.
Yeah, that bunker on the left kind of just stares at you. You mentioned it's 281 to get to, but it plays a little uphill and back into the wind, so you really got to smash it to get to that bunker. This one also headed up the right. Needs to land softly.
That may have some problems over there. Missed the fairway by about 20 yards.
If you look at Andrew Jarvis now at the 17th hole.
And they are playing the back tee today with a very difficult right hole location with the wind right to left. So this hole, if you can figure out a way to make a 3 here, you're going to be a happy camper leaving the green. Yeah, really a good shot to get it on that right corner of the green. Well done. Wind blowing more behind the players right now versus right to left.
So we know a little bit about Aaron. He's at UNLV. He had the incredible past year having played in the major championships after winning the LAAC. Andrew's more of an island guy. He's the older of the two. He's in the insurance business back in the Cayman Islands, also studying to get his golf management degree, wants to be in hospitality. Aaron getting a hospitality degree from UNLV. They have really helped to light a spark back in the Cayman Islands. But Andrew likes to hang out. He's got a boat. He's got a pickup truck. He's an island guy. But he's actually higher ranked than his brother.
I'll guarantee you they've had a few battles over the years.
Yeah, well, look at this guy.
Look at this.
Yeah, Vamos. This guy is filling it up. Luis Carrera. You've been around Luis. He exudes a certain confidence, athletic build. And there he is at 9 under par. What a round for the young man from Mexico, leading in round 2 of the Latin America Amateur Championship.
Lozada with his second shot at the par 4 fourth. This is really a neat hole. You drive it out, there's water all around, and what a wonderful second shot. Back into that left to right wind. Stopped very quickly. Now Cancino over at the 12th. This is a shorter par 4. Really a difficult hole location today. If you go about 6-7 yards past the hole, it runs off the back of the green. You come up 2 or 3 yards short, and it comes off the front of the green. That was about as good a birdie opportunity as you're going to have. We've had 3 other players win from Chile. Can we see a 4th? He's a solid player. It's going to be 13, 14 or holes that you can still get after. 13 is probably the most difficult hole in the golf course coming up for him. This is over at the 10th. See, the tee shot, knew it was 20 yards or so right of the fairway. It looks like he's got a half decent lie. No, not really any tree trouble, so he's probably fairly fortunate.
Back with our featured group here, the second round of the Latin America Amateur Championship. Rich Lerner alongside two-time U.S. Open champ Andy North and the crew. And here is a man from Panama, Omar Tejera.
And Rich, Tejera got a great break. I mean, this is in a slightly sandy area, but it's really firm. And this ball is on a tee. You couldn't ask for a better lie from where he drove it. Has 159 yards back into the wind, playing close to 170.
With this front hole location, you expect the players, if anything, maybe coming up a little short back into this wind. Great view of the lie.
Good call, Andy. Comes up about 5 yards short of the front.
That will not be an easy pitch either.
I think he liked it when it came off the club face. Posing on the follow through.
Oh, really great contact. And for those at home, that's a divot after he hit the ball, not before it.
The difference between high-level players and hacks. A hack would be worried about that lie.
Exactly.
They wouldn't like that lie.
Good
High-level players love
that.
it.
Absolutely.
This guy's impressive, Andy.
I really do like his mannerisms. I like the way he gets ready to go. I think he's waiting on his teammate Perico to go first, would be my guess. You better not blink.
No, you better not. He has 135, and this man has never heard the word conservative. It's all gas, no brake for him. But that one comes up way short.
The wind can be a fooler here. I mean, Biondi yesterday here went long, misjudged it. Now seen a couple of guys come up short, Andy.
Well, we're at sea level. It's a very heavy wind. It's very much like playing in Scotland, where the ball just doesn't go anywhere when you hit it into the wind.
This one thrown way up in the air, headed a little left of the hole. Also comes up just a hair short.
Yeah, that was such an easier third shot compared to the other two. It's the reason this was the third most difficult hole in the golf course yesterday, and we've got even more wind today and a more difficult hole location. I think this will be the hardest hole at the end of the day.
Why was your great friend Tom Watson so good in the wind?
He hit it so solid every time. He could flight the ball however he wanted to. And he was more of a picker, so he was able to not impart as much spin on it as some of the guys that really get deep after it.
Past champions here at the Latin America Amateur Championship. Matias Dominguez of Chile was the very first. 2015 in Argentina. And Paul Chaplett out of nowhere from Costa Rica. Toto Gana, that was a thriller. And then Joaquin Niemann in his home country of Chile with a sensational final round. Alvaro Ortiz played brilliantly to win. Abel Gallegos became the first from Argentina. That was in Mexico. And then Aaron Jarvis, bit of a surprise winner in 2022.
Right now it's like a dream come true.
So the 19-year-old from Chile is the champion.
It's something that we'll never forget. Never won any tournament, and then I won the Latin American and the spot in the Masters.
Perico is trying to join that group. A little bit of work left for Julian Perico. Andy, you and I have been to every Latin American Amateur Championship. All of these guys, by the way, outside of Aaron Jarvis, have turned professional. Dominguez was in banking back in Chile, but has since gone professional. He's trying to make his way. PGA Tour Latino America. Niemann, obviously, having had the most success to this point of that group. Now Tejera. And so, Andy, well, I love to be around dreamers, people who are grateful, talent that's emerging and exploding, people who cannot get enough of this game.
Well, I think we've been lucky enough to be at all of them, first of all. We've seen the improvement in golf swings. We've seen improvement in scoring. We've seen so many players get so much better from when we first saw them. And I think that's what this is about, growing the game, giving opportunities, and creating an environment where younger players have got something to really dream about.
And the collaboration from the governing bodies and the organizations, the Masters Tournament, the RNA, the USGA, has been fantastic. As they say, they come from different organizations, different parts of the world, but this is where they all put on the LAAC hats.
And I think this is the first time in the history of those organizations where they've all been on exactly the same page over something that's really doing golf a big favor.
The Oliveira.
Just a couple of feet short of the front edge of the screen. Deciding to go with putter, which I like. Obviously wants to give it a good run. But Andy, if you walk away with par here at the 10th, you're going to be pretty happy going over to number 11.
Well, absolutely. This is the third most difficult hole yesterday, and I think it'll play even more difficult today because of that hole location. Hopped a little bit coming out of the fringe, lost a little bit of speed.
By the way, the golf course yesterday played a little less than 2 shots over par. It was 73.86.
Not happy with that one.
Tejera.
His mark was going to be in the way, so he just went ahead and finished out. Very nice up and down.
I like that. Instead of marking and moving and spending a bunch of time, just go ahead and clean it up and let's move on. Because he wants to get out of Perico's way, because this won't take very long.
This from about 5 feet up the hill. I think you can keep it inside the hole and give it some speed.
Yeah, really kind of a big putt right now. Keep the momentum going. You know, not a great drive, not a great second. Still walks off with par.
Hammered it home.
He's a guy you just like. He wears it all on his sleeve.
Well, he has one of those personalities. You see him around the parties. The guys are all around him. They're telling stories and having a great time.
He said he loves that aspect of the game. He likes to put on a coat and tie and mingle with the grown-ups like they do at the gala. He likes to have a glass of wine. He's old enough.
So many of the countries they're in, their native. You know, you see the Bermuda shorts and the high socks, and from the Bermuda, and you know, each country has a little bit of flair. Good save, good par, no big deal. Now they got a par 5 coming up at 11. It's going to be playing mostly downwind, so we should see some great opportunities for birdies, or maybe even an eagle at 11.
All right, now Carrera at the 3rd.
Yeah, you see the wind blowing pretty hard. Look at the trees in the background, flagstick, foreground. Going to throw it out to the right and let it ride the wind a little bit right to left. Oh, how about that? Hits the flagstick. A little unlucky. If it had missed it, it probably would have spun back halfway close to the hole.
You were telling me a story the other day about Tiger's warm-up before the final round of the 05 Open at St. Andrews, which he won.
Yeah, absolutely one of the most amazing things, walking off the range. I've never seen a performance on the range that he had that day.
But he was hitting flag sticks on the range.
He hit the flag on the 6th hole and came about 40 yards off the green. And afterwards, told me that Hank had told him not to aim any pins today because you're probably going to hit one. He went on to win.
Aim a yard right and a yard left. Carrera from Mexico playing brilliantly so far. Canadian amateur champ is looking for another big one of the biggest here in Puerto Rico. He leads by 1. We've seen some good golf so far. Second round, and reflected in the scoring. Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira, 8 under.
And Rich, you mentioned the good scoring, but in my opinion, much tougher scoring conditions. The wind is about blowing twice as hard as it was yesterday. Maybe some easier hole locations, though.
Reason we're seeing some of the pre-championship favorites where they are right now.
We talked earlier about how important the par 5s are to play well. So far, he is 6 under on the par 5s.
They love it.
And he's going to have another opportunity for birdie or maybe eagle here after a perfect tee shot.
And Rich, you mentioned you like dreamers. Julian Perico said to me walking to this tee, he said, I wish everyone played as fast as I did. I said, keep dreaming, kid. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. It's only going to get worse.
There is, though, a real emphasis on improving pace of play across amateur and junior golf.
I think it's got to start there. I think you don't need young kids lining up putts from every direction and going to their yardage books for every. I mean, just go play golf.
Aim point hasn't helped in that regard.
You know, I think there's a lot of things. You know, the line on the golf ball. There's, you know, you don't need to mark your ball 4 times from 4 feet. Aiming it down the left center of the fairway. Looks like he wants to try to play a cut.
I don't blame him. That wind right now is blowing about 15 to 20 off his left.
Got it started on the line.
He's watching it. Just fine.
This really is a nice par 5. The key is the tee shot. As Cole was saying, the wind's howling from left to right and helping usually. A lot of the longer players can take it over that right-hand bunker, and ideally you like to get it right around that 309 at that on the left edge of the fairway. Gives you a good angle to come in here. A lot of trouble on the left. Bunker on the right, if you're there, that leaves you a long bunker shot. Holes cut in really, I think, the easiest hole location. It kind of front middle. There's a little ridge behind it. If you get on the left corner of the green, it'll run down toward the hole. So we could possibly see an eagle. Ball's going to have to land probably just short of the green, hop up there. But there's a place to land it.
And third hole after hitting the flagstick. This is Carrera, and Iona's there.
This is a young man, 23-year-old Luis Carrera from Mexico, looking very much in control of his game right now. Oh.
Really a little unlucky. Second shot hit the flagstick. If it misses a flagstick, it probably is going to be 6, 7, 8 feet from the hole.
Yeah, he's going to feel a little bit hard done by there, but it's so important that he keeps his composure because he's got momentum in his favour. He's got his friend Rodrigo on his bag, and they won the Canadian Amateur together last year. And I was having a little blether with Rodrigo, and he was saying they're very much got the Canadian Open, which he now has an exemption for in their mind. Everything is a step towards that, and this just another great week to get experienced amongst some of the best players in the world. So a good pairing, good partnership out here.
And a clean card.
You know, I think really a huge advantage if you can come here with a friend on the bag or somebody who's worked for you before who knows a little bit about you, versus so many of the players have local caddies, which is really terrific. They've got a nice caddy program. They contract with some of the schools in the area, and they get these kids started early. And they've been great. Fred Biani was talking about the young man that he has as a caddy, and he said, this kid can really play. He's out here in chips and putts with me in practice rounds, and he said he made way more putts than I did.
Lozada at the 5th.
5th hole really is a wonderful, wonderful hole. It's a little bit short. Back into the wind. These holes are playing so differently back into the wind.
13 is Cancino for par to stay at 6.
This was the hardest golf hole on the golf course yesterday. Pendley area runs the entire length of the hole on the right. I was out this morning and watched some poor soul hit a drive in and then hit a second. After he dropped it, hit the second one in. Ended up with a mess, but really a good golf hole.
So Tom Kite designed it in 2006. We're between 72 and 7,300 yards. They'll change the setup by day, give you some variance and yardages on the par threes in particular. And Tony Finau and Victor Hovland have won here. PGA Tour brings its event in early March.
Well, I can see why these two guys won here. It's a golf course that if you can drive the ball about 305 yards in the air, which both those guys can do, you can take it over almost all the bunkers. If not, there's a bunch of the holes you have to lay up on.
Tahara.
He has 252 all the way to the hole. There is an opening at the front left of this green, which I think is where he needs to be looking.
He's going with a long iron, so I would suspect he's going to try to bounce it in from the front left.
He's going to have to get all of it. This one's going to end up short and right.
Does miss that bunker. He'll have some green to work with, so that shouldn't be too bad from over there, and it'll be back in the wind somewhat, so he should be able to stop it.
And Andy, with this hole location, you know, yesterday we saw it way over there on the right side. Where it is today, I wouldn't be surprised to see a few balls close here and maybe see a couple eagles.
Well, that's what I thought when I saw it this morning.
Voy a la palmera finita que está como a la izquierda del hoyo.
Ok, y que viento el ajuste.
Cole, I would think just started out there just left of the green and let it ride the wind, and if you can land it somewhere around the front of the green, it's going to be close.
Yeah, he's got 232 to the hole, 220 to the front. Like you said, anything that lands around that front number should be pretty good. Wind's got this one moving it right. Looks like it needs to go a lot.
Wow, that just ate that up. That's a good 40 yards or so short of the... Whoops, we missed him.
Well, Perico had a clear shot. Just needed to use a little bit of wind to move it left to right, and that comes up about 10 yards short of the front.
Oh, boy. We need another camera out there, one just for him. But you got to love it. Just go up there and hit it, and let's move on.
He's old school.
In a lot of ways. Golf swing-wise, the way he likes to play.
Yeah. Lozada, this is for par at the fifth.
We saw second shot come up well short of the green. See if he can save another par. I think the fifth hole is going to cause some problems for the players today. Yesterday was the fourth most difficult hole, and the wind's blowing much harder into him today than yesterday.
Carrera at the fourth.
Maybe one of the easier hole locations today, but again, it's about wind and controlling your ball and the flight of your ball into the wind. And that is well short and to the right. We've got a bunch of wind blowing. I would say it's almost twice as hard as it was yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a nice 10 to 12 miles an hour. It's close to 20 today.
This is proper island golf.
Yeah, this is more, you know, when you're building a golf course in a place where the wind blows, you design everything around the predominant wind. And if you get days when the wind doesn't blow, the golf course is, you know, has no defense. That's not the case today. We're going to see some issues caused by the wind.
And this is typical. Out of the east,
yep,
up to 20 miles per hour. Talk to the guys who play here, part of that Puerto Rican contingent. They'll tell you they get this just about every day.
I would suspect if we get this kind of wind the next 3 days, you'd have to look at a couple of the guys from Puerto Rico, and big advantage for them having played this golf course so much.
You can stay connected to all the Latin America Amateur Championship action anywhere, anytime. Visit laacgolf.com. Follow the championship on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Excellent digital site. A lot of good videos, photographs, leaderboards, feature stories. LAACgolf.com. Now, see Perico walking up to the green. He shot that 80. Remember, he led at Casa last year through 36 holes. I spoke to him at length, sat by the pool, when he was all over. He said, look, we are not always going to play well. We're not robots, but we can act the right way and do the right thing.
You're going to have some bad days. How you react to it is the important thing. Now, Colt, this looks like he's got an awesome lie. The wind's going to help him stop it. This is maybe not as difficult as it looks.
No, this is not difficult at all. He's just got to make sure he throws it far enough because it's going to really hit soft.
Beautiful shot to Hera right there.
In my opinion, he had the easiest shot of the group.
The Oliveira.
Ball's sitting up very nice in this rough, but he does have to fly that little swale that's in between him and the hole location. Once again, showing off that magical short game.
So he'll have that to get to 9 under par. And for the moment, Ty Carrera for the lead here in the second round of the Latin America Amateur Championship.
This is awesome. He's got to run up and mark this because his ball's in Perico's way, so we're going to actually get to see Perico hit this shot. Again, pretty straightforward.
It is, but the lie's not that great. It's a little soft right around here. I think it's when he's got to use the leading edge, probably fly it just onto the front part of the green. Oh, he went in really low. I do not think he liked that lie, guys.
That was a safety play. If you're going to hit that type of shot, maybe go with a little bit less loft. He's got a lot of loft. He's really de-lofting. See the club literally just stick into the ground. Hands never, club head never even came close to getting to his hands. That's a fabulous shot. Well done, guys.
Here's the leader at the 4th, Luis Carrera of Mexico.
Got tons of green to work with. Back into the wind.
Let's bring in Iona.
Yeah, his approach shot just got gobbled up by that wind. You really are playing back into the teeth of it here. And looking for a deft touch now.
Man, he really judged the spin well back into the wind. That was a terrific play.
And Andy, I think through the years, that's another area of the game we've seen improvement is short game. And if these guys are going to go to that next level, to the professional ranks, you have to be sharp in that regard.
I think they see the pros spend so much time practicing from 80 yards in, 60 yards in. That's where the game's won or lost.
Right now, Perico.
Caught a great break off the tee. I feel like you got to make birdie here at the 11th. He is not going to be happy walking over to the 12th.
You let a par 5 get away that's very reachable, fairly simple hole location, not a lot of trouble around it. Yeah, he feels like he's made a bogey.
His coach, Brad McMakin's out here. I was just talking to him about his pace of play. He said in college events, the second that pin goes in, his ball is in the air.
He's got a little Rocco Mediate in him, just the way he looks and bounces around. Tahara for birdie.
Shouldn't be much in this one.
Yeah, I would think maybe a left edger or something.
Yeah, the only problem is that wind coming across from right to left.
Got to have it, and he needs a couple more very likely, because at this point 2 over's the number. Not sure where it will go.
It could go up a little bit because of the wind, but
1 or 2 more to be safe.
Yeah, you want to make sure you've got enough under the cut to be around for the next 2 days.
Okay, De Oliveira now at 9 under. He is tied for the lead with Luis Carrera. So it is Mexico and Argentina, and then Peru 3 shots behind. Just a strong group from the hosts here this week in Puerto Rico. led by Kelvin Hernandez, a 17-year-old. He was runner-up a week ago in Florida at the Junior Orange Bowl.
Yeah, and what a day he had yesterday. He bogeyed 3 holes early and then birdied 4 of his last 6 or 8 to get in with 1 under, and he's off to a great start today.
Yeah, a lot of fight and great excitement certainly in Panama, because the 2024 Latin America Amateur Championship is going back there. They'll play at Santa Maria Golf Club. It's different than when they were last in Panama in 2017. But I know how thrilled Miguel Duran, the president of the Panama Golf Association, is. So all of the dignitaries, Panama in 2024.
It's going to be a great location. Remember, we had an unbelievable party at the Panama Canal the last time we were down there. It was so cool.
And Santa Maria with views of the Panama City skyline. Pros years ago used to go down to Panama and play the Panama Open. Arnold
it
won
was
the
part
Panama
of the
Open.
Caribbean tour, and a good friend of mine used to run that, and there's some stories from that you can't even believe. A lot of the guys going with iron off the 12th, which I think is a good play. Get it down there. Just it narrows down where the driver would be.
Yeah, Andy, and it's playing straight downwind right now, so some type of long iron leaves them probably no more than a pitching wedge into the 12th.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough hole location there today, called over in the right-hand corner, kind of on top of a little knob that you don't want to be playing out of the rough in there.
Muy bien. Vamos ahí.
This one headed up the right, needs a bounce to the left. Just finds the rough.
What do you think of this swing, Andy?
I think he is in really control of his golf swing. He really gets the club coming back in one piece very well. Not a lot of hands early. Then it breaks in this point. The weight of the club gets it in a nice position. Yeah, I think he's got great rhythm. He's got good balance. The club sets in a nice spot. He keeps improving. We've seen him over the years. He gets better and better. The 12th hole is really a wonderful short par 4. It's all about the tee shot. See the bunkering down the right-hand side. If you're a bomber, you can take it over that 296 and give yourself maybe a sandwich. But that brings all the trouble in the left into play. A lot of the players that we just saw going with long irons or maybe a hybrid off of that tee, again, the whole location today is what's going to make this hole. Over in the right-hand corner with the wind running, with the players and to the right, it's going to be a very tough shot to get close, even with the pitching wedge. This is a hole that we saw beyond a fly it over the green yesterday. But it's a hole that we may see the tee moved up, and this could be a drivable hole over the weekend. It will bring the penalty area into play on the left. I would suspect we might have a front hole location. If they do that, it'll be a fun hole.
So we talked about Panama for the Latin America Amateur Championship, the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Harrison Crow winning in Thailand late last year. He's from Australia. He'll be at the Masters in 2023, the Open as well. How about this? Going to Royal Melbourne Golf Club. You've been there, one of the best in the world, Mackenzie Design. 2023, late October, down under.
I'll raise my hand to go there. That's such a great trip. Wonderful golf course. Has some of the most beautiful bunkering I've ever seen in golf. They're literally cut right into the greens. There's no fringes around it. Fantastic venue. One of the world's great golf courses.
And you see the dignitaries there. From the RNA, Martin Slumbers, far left. Masters Tournament Chairman Fred Ridley. At the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
¿Ve la palmera esas dos tan juntitas a la derecha de la torre?
Sí.
Como ahí, un tiro de 145, boludo.
Muy bien, boludo. ¿Qué tenés? ¿El pitch en la mano?
Sí.
Espectacular, amigo.
Allá voy a esas dos palmeras. Vamos a tener un par de 5 metros a la izquierda del hoyo.
Me encanta.
¿Te gusta?
Me encanta.
La de 145 esas palmeras.
Muy bien, vamos amigo.
Soy neutral.
Guys, I would have to think that was a little bit of a miss hit off the tee. He's all the way back at 166, which in my opinion, he's got to be looking towards the center of the green from here.
Yeah, you can't go flag hunting, I don't believe, from there. 15, 20 feet left of the hole.
Hola mucho. Wait.
Well, he's going right at it, but that comes up short, but did not plug.
And you don't have to understand the language to know what they're saying. Get up, or pre-shot. It's I like it, trust it.
Really a nice clean hit. I think he just misjudged the distance and the wind.
Yeah, that wind, I mean, I feel like they think it's right behind him, but there's definitely some off the left.
And Coltis now a good test with this wind.
I mean, this is what we're used to seeing down here in Puerto Rico. The wind always blows. Really got to control your trajectory. This from 146.
Even from the fairway, I think you've got to give you a little bit of room to the left of this whole location, more toward the middle of the green.
Oh boy, he just smoked that.
That is going to be difficult getting that one up and in, back up that hill.
Last 3 holes, they're really struggling to figure this wind out. That a wedge from 136, just a little left of the hole.
That's exactly where you wanted to play. That was a well thought out and executed shot. Great birdie chance.
Martin Cancino now, birdie putt at the 14th.
One of the shorter par 5s in the golf course, but it plays back into the wind. Good hole location today in the back left-hand corner of the green. Anytime you par one of the par 5s out here, you're not very happy.
Nice day to be moseying along, enjoying the action and anything else Puerto Rico has to offer at the Latin America Amateur Championship.
Wildlife you won't see in the Northeast or the Midwest this time of year. Yeah, it's a Latin America Amateur. He's fired up too. Fantastic venue. Grand Reserve Golf Club. There's a good reason you need to keep your ball in the fairway. You get out into the edges, you might see some creatures you've never seen before. All kinds of wildlife. Now we're talking great beach, all to yourself. Waves are breaking. Rich and I have got a 2 o'clock surfing lesson this afternoon, so we'll be all over it. A couple of 6'5" guys on boards, not a pretty sight. Gorgeous venue. A lot of activities. You can find pretty much anything you want to keep yourself entertained. And of course, the golf is number one. Rainforest about 10 miles away. Incredible multiple climates in this little area.
Twelfth hole, De Oliveira tied for the lead.
All the talk about this young man's short game.
Beautiful.
Another good example. Fortunate the ball didn't bury in that bunker. Is able to take advantage of it.
Andy, he hits a lot of cool shots. Kind of reminds me of Jose Maria Olazabal around the greens.
Well, that's a good player to be compared to. He was as good as it gets. Club face open, catches a couple inches behind the ball. Just popping it out, not a big follow through.
And the other leader, Carrera, at the 5th.
This is a hole players have really struggled getting the ball to the green. It's back into the wind. Hole's cut back portion of the green, and he's actually hitting it. Only player we've seen hit it through the green, but not a bad spot with the hole cut back there.
All right, Perico now for birdie at the 12th.
Omar already chipped up to about 4 feet. This coming up the hill extremely slow.
Actually broke toward the back of the green. That's a bit surprising. Get that nice run early, but since he hasn't made anything in the last few holes.
And after that 80, he said, I was tested in the hardest way I could be. My game is off, mind is off, but I behaved properly. And that's why he was proud of himself. Ended up with the top 10. That's what you like to see at this stage, this age. Lozada now.
Really nicely played. He's left himself that length for par multiple times today.
It's Kelvin Hernandez at the 5th.
This young man's going to be really a good player. Only 18 years old. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of composure. Did a great interview yesterday with John Sutcliffe.
Iona, you've had a chance to watch Kelvin today. What are your impressions?
Well, all three players in this group, very impressive, to be honest. And Kelvin, great golf swing. Real loving watching the way he kind of coils his upper body, powerful in the legs. He's not the tallest player out here, but all of these players, they're playing with great spirit, very respectful of one another in the spirit of the game, but laser focused. And I'm having an absolute treat out here watching the kind of skill and talent that's on display at the moment within this group. And I think they're kind of jarring each other on, you know, they're clapping when they hit good shots, and they're respectful of one another when things get a little bit awry. All in good spirit.
Iona, last year, Kelvin won a junior tournament on this golf course by 10 shots, so he understands how to get it around.
Wow. Yeah, that you can see that really in the way he's plotting his way around, and I can imagine on a golf course like this, it's a huge advantage to know where you're going, because there's plenty of water out here. The rough's not too penal, but you've got to know where to miss it. If you miss it in the wrong spots, you can get caught behind these palm trees and angles into these greens. Some tricky pin positions today as well. This one on 5, it's already a tough par 4, and pin all the way at the back, which brings that bunker into play. And you've really got to get the angles right and plot your way around shot by shot.
Carrera's got a chance to take the lead with this putt.
Just from off the green, it's going to break from left to right.
Oh boy, that's a good run right there. Said he's gotten better in the last year and change. He's just more disciplined, understands how to practice, and the results are showing. We mentioned that he won the Canadian Amateur, also picked up his first individual college win in the Hartford Hawks Invitational, 11th at the prestigious Isleworth Collegiate Invitational. Again, senior at University of Central Florida in Orlando. Caddy was on board for that victory in the Canadian Amateur. Won by 2 shots. That earned him exemptions to the 2022 USAM and the 2023 Canadian Open later this year. Now, De Oliveira to stay at 9 under.
Yeah, really good putting stroke. Keeps the putter exceptionally low. No problem. Looks like he's in complete control.
Lozada to get back to 5.
He's had a putt this length almost every hole, seems like today. Disappointing not to make a birdie in the par 5.
Yeah, Martin Cancino at the 15th.
Yeah, they've moved the tee up today. It's playing 138 yards. That's a nice play out of the bunker. You don't expect a lot of balls to miss this green from that distance. But that was a good potential up and in.
De Oliveira at the 13th tee.
Tough tee shot, trouble all down the right. Wind hard left to right. This one headed up the very left side of the fairway. Needs to get down to avoid the palm trees.
Went with a driving iron off this tee. Just shows how difficult this tee shot is.
Back to Kelvin Hernandez. This to stay at 4.
Just walking in a 12-footer for par. Exceptionally confident. That was a nice save after bogeying the first hole.
Where are we going? Wherever I can get a snack. I could give him some of these. I got a Milky Way here. The Reese's is gone.
Yeah, shocking. You've been grinding on those.
Two-way tie atop the leaderboard here, round 2 of the Latin America Amateur Championship from the Grand Reserve Golf Club in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico hosting for the first time ever. This is the 8th playing. And here is Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira.
¿La fila izquierda de la torre? ¿Te gusta?
izquierda de la torre, ¿no? En realidad se tira 1.90, capaz. Ni siquiera es acelerando tanto.
Por eso, exactamente. Muy bien. Me gusta el 9-0. Gran número.
Well, I think what they're saying is good news, bad news. Good news is he has a perfect angle. Bad news is he has 196 and a 6-iron. Did I get that right?
Holes cut on the left. Wind left to right. Just started out in the middle of the green and don't even think about trying to get it too close here. That's, I think, a good play. Dangerous, dangerous hole.
And this is a dangerous shot right here. 184 out of the fairway bunker. No fear in this man, though. Pretty solid shot at the left side of the green.
Yeah, right on the front corner. That's fine. This hole is One of the holes out here, you can have a disaster if you're not careful.
Kind of like 16 at Cypress from what I heard this morning, Andy.
Nothing like that.
You're saying there's not an 11 in the cards here?
No, they'd be smarter than that.
So you're going to be able to...
Don't try this at home unless you're a trained professional.
I would need a new pair of pants after that.
And an ambulance.
The big underscore the word if I were doing that golf. There's no chance.
This big body's flexible. Don't let it fool you.
What do they call you, Big Beautiful?
Well, that's my man, Harry Higgs. All right, this from 168. Wind hard off the left. Coming off a bogey at the last. He needs to get it going.
This isn't the hole to get too aggressive on.
Well, he's going just right of the hole. Comes up well short in the front bunker.
Well, we've seen a lot of players misjudge the wind. This is the #1 hardest hole on purpose. This is a wonderful, wonderful hole. Great driving hole. You'd like to start out at the 280 marker you see in the screen, and just that's a great angle. Even if it's just in the left-hand rough, you can play from there. Anything down the right is really tough. A lot of problems all around the screen. You've got to put it in the middle of the screen if you can. Tough hole location today because of that ridge. It's just at the bottom of the ridge. If you're long, it's going to be a tough 2-putt. If you're down where Perico was in the front of the green, it's not bad at all.
Take you over to the 7th. Here is Lozada.
Finally see him putting for a birdie. 7th hole, a good par 3. Get in there. Yeah, that away. And he really has 2 birdie holes coming up at 8 and 9, so he's got a chance to do some good here at the end of the round. We could see him get a couple more.
The avenues to Augusta National, right? Win the Latin America Amateur Championship, or you can participate in the Drive, Chip, and Putt National Finals. And for more information on this exciting youthful initiative, kids ages 7 to 15 with the chance to compete where the legends have, go to drivechipandputt.com for more. When those youngsters see their name on that leaderboard, the same one where we've seen Palmer and Nicklaus and Woods and Spieth, I mean, their eyes just pop.
Just the idea of getting a chance to go to Augusta National is spectacular.
Now Tejera.
Colt, really not that difficult a bunker shot here.
Guys, after that short miss at the last, I mean, he's got to get this up and down and then somehow make a couple birdies if he wants to be around for the weekend.
Fairly straightforward. Just get it out on the green and it will release down the hill to the hole. Really choked up on the club on this shot.
That's about as good as it gets.
That's pretty well done.
Julian Perico. Gotten to know Julian. He had some personal issues a couple of years ago. He's been open, honest about his mental health challenges, and he's really in a good place. And his advice to other people, you don't have to be young, particularly young people, is to share it with someone, whether it's a sports psychologist or a therapist. Don't keep it in. Find someone that you can share it with and talk it through with. Tejera to finish it up.
Just clean it up before the other two hit their long birdie putts. 4 over. He needs, I think, safely at least one more birdie. And 4 over still might be the number. No mistakes coming in.
Leon likes to say he's climbing a mountain, not just in golf, but in life. I'm really happy these days. His girlfriend is a phenomenal athlete in her own right. Soccer standout at Arkansas, Anna Podijil. She was the SEC Player of the Year. So over the holidays, Julian went back to her folks' home in Ohio. He said, "I froze, but we had a great time." And then they went to New York City with some friends. So he's really enjoying his life. He said he plays golf now for the joy and not so much for the results, and that's really helped him. Although,
if you can do that, you're
super joyful about that.
You're probably going to play better.
Yeah.
You know, you're just going to relax and go play.
I think across the board, Andy, you remember when you're 19, 21, 22, you're figuring it out. Golf and life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
a lot of moving pieces, and you think you're indestructible too at that point. He's really had a nice career in this tournament. 3 top 10s. He's been in contention almost every single year at some point in time during the tournament.
And now his teammate at Arkansas, Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira.
Did not get the rangefinder out for this one, so must feel pretty confident about the speed. But he's walking after it early.
Well judged coming off that ridge. I think you need to be careful with the short one here. The hole was cut right at the bottom of the ridge. Could see this one slide right a little bit, so just get your attention.
Julian standing there ready to pounce.
De Oliveira was close a year ago, couldn't quite finish, and we told you about the travails of this guy Perico at Casa de Campo. Nice putt right there. And so they all tell you that they learn from that experience. And I know we're in a fully modernized world, but some lessons are timeless and go all the way back to the great Bobby Jones. And I don't think we would be here if not for Jones and Augusta's enduring commitment to amateur golf. Bobby Jones once said, I never learned anything from a match or a tournament that I won, really only from the losses. So the greatest amateur ever. We'll go to Liverpool for the Open this year. The U.S. Amateur at Marion. And out by the time he was, 28 years old. And think of the impact he had after retirement.
How about playing 31 majors and only finished out of the top 10 in 4 of them? That's remarkable. Consistency. That's what all these players are striving for.
And there's a young man in the field from Puerto Rico who, like Jones, went to Harvard. Diego Saavedra Davila plays on Harvard's golf team. Jones was a coach at Harvard in the 1920s. Now, Cancino.
Oh my, what a play that was.
Shot?
Out of the rough, palm trees, throws it up there 4 feet from the hole. Fantastic.
Tejera, 4 over.
The turn for home back into the wind. We saw some players struggle with this tee shot yesterday.
But 4 over par, Colt, you think he has to make a birdie on this hole as hard as the next few holes are playing.
Well, that's a good start.
Full treatment there. You know, this tee shot kind of gets your attention with the water down the right, but there's actually the water on the left, I think, is more in play. It's sneaky over there, and everything kind of bounces towards it.
The wind's working from right to left a little bit here also, which brings that into play. And historically, when you're trying to hit it down, flight it in the wind, there's a chance to pull it.
This one is headed well right. His coach is over there. He can take one for the team.
Got a safe sign.
It's his Arkansas head coach.
Looks like he's letting himself go a little bit. Needs to get in the gym. This one is hammered right down the throat.
A little extra on that one. Julian Perico hanging around in what he has said will be his last Latin America Amateur Championship. And he'll say goodbye to his head coach right there at the University of Arkansas after the Nationals in June, or rather in May. That team could make some noise.
¿Hay más viento que ayer o no?
Oh, beautiful. Rich and I will be out there this afternoon on about a 25-foot board that's about 5 feet wide, making sure the two tall guys can stand up on them. Absolutely gorgeous. We've had the World Cup here a couple of times in Puerto Rico, World Amateur Championship back in '04, Puerto Rican Open on this golf course since 2008, and last year the first USGA event, Women's Amateur 4-ball, and of course the Latin America Amateur Championship this year. Yante, the beautiful scene up there. You see clouds over the mountain almost all the time. It is a rainforest. It gets a lot of rain up there. Oh, wow. That is absolutely gorgeous. There's some of the great hiking in the world up in that area. Streams, waterfalls, some nice little lakes. It is just an absolute gorgeous place. Wow, beautiful shots. Congratulations to our camera guys. The invention of the drone has been an amazing thing in covering outdoor sports. What a beautiful, beautiful place.
Here's Carrera. Here's a third shot at the par 5-6, leading by 1.
Similar angle he's coming at this one from as Hernandez, so he's going to learn. Hernandez left it short. Oh, a little too much gas in that one.
Now Cancino.
This is for birdie after that fabulous second shot. Best second shot we've seen by far. Took advantage of it. Well done. Maybe a few more squares in the cards today with the wind blowing.
Back to the 14th and Panamanian Tejera.
He's got 263 all the way to the hole. This wind is pretty good off the right. If he can ride the wind a little bit, I think he can get it there.
I agree. I think he shouldn't have any trouble getting to the front part of the green. Have to start at that right-hand bunker and just let it ride the wind.
He's got this one turning well left.
Not a lot of green to work with from that angle either. That'll be an interesting pitch.
De Oliveira.
Now this is an interesting one. I mean, with the wind off the right, he's pretty much right behind that tree.
It looks as if he's looking to play left of it, Colt. The ball's going to be below his feet, trying to cut it back in the wind. This is one that's going to be hard to judge the distance.
And Andy, he's got 245 to the hole. I think if he goes left with a cut, the wind's going to knock it down too much. I think he needs to start it way right and kind of ride that wind.
I agree with you, but it looks like the ball might be enough below his feet.
Yeah, I think there's enough wind that he can start it right of it and hit about a 30-yard draw. That's the only way to get it to the hole. Unless he goes with a lot of club and hits a big fade.
Well, he's gone. He's taken that driver iron and
Porque de última jugamos allá por la izquierda y jugamos yendo en contra.
Pero tengo poco green, por eso prefiero ir a la derecha.
He's gone back to the 3-wood.
Tiro allá al bunker ese, sacando esto y que corte, digamos. Total, si voy por la derecha me queda bien.
Perfecto, amigo. Ya bien, visualizarlo.
I think basically his caddy just told him if you'd been in the fairway, you wouldn't be worrying about this tree.
The only reason I like going right with a draw is if you do hang it out to the right, I think it's an easier up and down than left.
Oh, I agree.
He's gone with a big high cut and he's overdone it.
Just got it over the bunker.
Huge drive, just 231 left. Oh, this is good looking in the air.
Just
What a
another
shot. Just got a
sensational
chance.
shot.
It's got a chance. Oh.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Woo. I mean,
Nothing
close to an albatross.
Tap-in eagles are fun, but this could have been really special. Hit dead center. I'm shocked that ball didn't go in. The wind's blown the pin enough that maybe that kept it out.
Thank you.
What a shot.
It was all about the caddy. That was him, not me.
So he's at 6 under and really close in one mighty strike to getting to 9 under. Tracking.
Just
oh,
perfectly played, landed just a little bit in the upslope, took a lot of the steam off of it.
It hit the flag? Come on. Wow. Nice.
I mean, it was going at a good pace to go in. If the flag stick's not there, it probably drops.
I would have bought you a drink tonight. Oh my God. For sure.
Only one.
Yeah, only one. Yeah,
See, he's learning. Only one. If you're contending, it's just one, and then we're off to bed. All right, now the birdie try for the leader, Luis Carrera of Mexico. Oh, come on, Carrera.
Yes. He is rolling his rock. That was beautiful.
This guy's sturdy. Reminds you a little bit of Canelo Alvarez. He's strapped together.
Our John Sutcliffe will be very proud moment interviewing him when he's done.
And Canelo loves the game. He'll pop up, plays some golf with Santiago.
229 today, the 17th. They've moved it to the back tee, giving the players a very difficult hole location in the right. You're going to see a lot of balls over in the middle part of the green with some long putts. Not much room around that flagstick. If you get it up in that right-hand corner, you've hit one heck of a shot.
Santiago de la Fuente from Mexico was telling me he plays some golf back in Guadalajara with Canelo Alvarez. Now Hernandez to get to 5 under. Turn for home.
Break. Oh, he left her short.
Wow. Kelvin's going to play college golf at North Carolina Greensboro.
They're getting a really a solid player. Nice young man.
Little tap for Eagle. Nice 3. Quickly to 8 under par. Yeah, he knows where the cameras are.
What a round of golf he's playing.
And again, it looks as though he is going to factor.
I can't see this shot enough. Starts it right, rides the wind a little bit, and he knows he's hit it just like he wants to. Took a nice soft bounce. When he sees the replay, he's going to be disappointed because that should have gone in.
Well, guys, he's 6 under on the day and right in the mix, and hasn't really made it.
Barely traveling. It just kissed the pin. It would have been a foot long. It was great job.
Don't tell me that, Coach.
It just kissed the pin. Barely traveling. Now the Oliveira.
Coming off the downslope, which I think is going to help him on this really long bunker shot. Oh my, that one almost took a peek.
Yeah, that was a nice play from there. Off that downslope, that long a bunker shot.
And it's some pretty high-level stuff we're seeing.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that really was a terrific shot. This one almost catches it, just hops over the hole. Really soft, quiet with his lower body, just basically moving the shoulders, arms, hands. That was a nice play.
Tejera.
Not the easiest of shots. Got to land it on a downslope, trying to get it to check. Not too bad.
I had quite a bit of spin on that second hop. That was a good play to get it 8 feet from the hole. This would be an important birdie for him. Get back to 3 over. Probably get under the cut line.
Yeah, Andy, as long as the wind stays up, I would have to think 3 over is going to be okay.
I agree.
Carrera 5 under on his round today.
Beautiful par 3. A lot of trouble around it. They've given the players a front hole location today. Just a bit strong, just sliding down into that lower drainage area. Might putt it or chip it along the ground there.
Back at 14.
And all in all, that was a really nice bunker shot. It was not easy. Good news is he got it on the proper level now. It has about 12 to 14 feet for his birdie coming down the hill. Should move a little to his left. But Rich, I've been very impressed with him. He just seems like he's just very steady. Doesn't really have many ups, many highs, many lows.
And Colt, his plan is, like so many, to turn professional later this year. How does his game look to you for the transition to the pros?
I mean, the short game is 100% there. You know, he might need to get a little longer off the tee, but everything else looks really good in my opinion.
He is, by the way, 15th in the PGA Tour University standings. You're between 6 and 20 after the NCAAs in May. You earn fully exempt status on the PGA Tour Canada, Latino America as well. This is Cancino for birdie.
We should see quite a few putts coming from this direction. Upper ridge right in this area. And then it flattens out, so it doesn't slow down as much once you get it over the top.
Back at 14, Tejera.
Big one here from about 7 feet. Not a whole lot in it. Yeah, good stroke there.
It really was nice.
And Cole, it is amazing when you're out on the golf course playing, you know what the cut's going to be. You have a great idea, so he's just grinding right now to get in.
I lived on the cut line, nothing better. So much fun.
De Oliveira.
Just not a lot of blemishes on his card, just moving along. He'd like to have made birdie on that par 5, but didn't.
108 players started the week, 72 holes, and so right now a low 50 and ties, and we have 58 players at 2 over or better to make the cut and play the weekend.
I think there's a chance it still could get to 3. But having lunch today, if you're 2, you'd feel a lot better.
Now Carrera.
He's a good 3 feet below the level of the green. He's going to go with putter. Very nicely done. Get it up there a couple of feet from the hole. That was a sensible play.
Now Cancino this to save and stay at 6 under.
Let it slip away a little bit. There'll be a lot of bogeys on the 17th hole today. Not an easy 2-putt from down on that lower level.
He knows it. That's a bad one right there. Back to Kelvin Hernandez.
That was definitely a misread. Wow.
How about golf in Puerto Rico? First formal golf club opened 1930. It's an international business, came to the island, opened the Sugar Mills Puerto Rican Golf Association, founded 1954. Hats off to current president Sidney Wolf, their entire team, giving us a great show. They hosted the World Cup of Golf, you mentioned, 1961, and again in 94, World Amateur Team Championship in 2004. And we always think about Hall of Fame great from Puerto Rico, Chichi Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's a legend in these parts and amazing ball striker, and always has worked with junior golf, trying to help players get better. And what an entertainer.
So you saw him at a clinic curve balls both ways and meet in the middle?
Yep. He used to try to hit 2 shots, try to hit a big cut, and then hit a draw. And he actually had the balls hit in the air. Amazing. Got to be a gazillion to 1. I don't know what the odds would be for that.
Yeah, he grew up playing baseball here on the island.
Terrific hands. Probably the best hands of any player I've ever seen. He could do anything.
Wow.
Ever. He could do literally anything with a golf ball.
Who else had great hands?
Well, you look at almost any really good player, but Chichi had little teeny small hands, but man, he could really maneuver the golf club. Unbelievable around the greens, bunker player. You talk about Gary Player, maybe one of the best bunker players in the world. I wouldn't bet against Chichi against him. That's a good play. Back into the wind. It's only playing 138, 9 yards.
Now Carrera. Okay, so there is a scoring update. He actually made par at the 4, so he is 10 under par and not 11 under par. In any event, he is still leading by a shot over Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira. Julian Perico making a big move on this second day, and here he is, the 15th, 139 yards.
Playing every bit of 155 back into this wind, and the wind is hammering it. This has got to go.
Okay.
That is very fortunate. That just stayed up on top.
I think you've got to be careful that into the wind, your first thought is to try to hit it a little bit hard. He catches that really well, but he's got so much spin on it, the wind just eats it up. You got to come in there a little bit lower, trajectory-wise. Ideally, one more club and hit it easier, take some of the spin off of it, which will get the ball to fly lower.
I'll tell you this, though, 139 is much more inviting than 205.
Oh, no kidding. They moved the tee up. They knew the wind was going to be blown today, and that's a bad miss in the left-hand bunker. Not a lot of green to work with. Test his short game. Now, the back tee today would not be any fun.
Greg Sanfilippo of the USGA, David Wilson of the RNA, and their teams handling the setup, and they're sharp. They know exactly what they're doing.
They've done a great job. You see them out there every morning working really hard.
Wind's a factor here. Day 2 in Puerto Rico. De Oliveira, and this is live. He's missed the green at this short par 3 with the winds whipping here in the second round. Colt Knost is down there.
Yeah, this is going to test that short game here. Not much green to work with and going straight downwind. Andy, you know you got to catch this one close to the ball and put some spin on it.
Seeing this rehearsed, get the club up really quickly. Not a bad play. Didn't spin it as much as you'd like.
I just like that he always tries the proper shot. He never seems to bail out.
He's got a lot of talent around the greens, and we've seen a constant improvement in his game in the last 3 or 4 years. That's what's so neat about seeing these players every year here as they grow up in the game, you know, from 18, 19-year-olds to now guys at the end of their college careers thinking about turning pro.
Well, that was close.
Takes a lot of pressure off that full swing when you feel like you can get it up and down every time.
Well, isn't that amazing when you're rolling the ball well and your short game's good? That's when your iron play is at its best. Just more aggressive and freewheel it. Perico.
Oh, he just whiffed that.
That was gasping for air the whole way.
Generally, you know what has happened by his reactions.
Well,
Tahara.
Even though he's not on the green, it's still a great look from about 12 feet. Boy, he just smashed it. Oh, my.
His little battle to make the cut continues. At 18, Martin Cancino.
They've moved the tee up at 18. It's playing more in the 400-yard range today. Wind always an issue on the 18th. Into the players and from the right. Well done.
Yeah. All right, so Cancino, a chance to get out with a birdie. So coming up top of the hour, it's noon here in Puerto Rico, an hour ahead of New York City. We're at the Grand Reserve Golf Club. Pretty day. Puerto Rico hosting the Latin America Amateur Championship for the first time. This the 8th playing of one of the world's most prestigious titles. The winner earns an invitation to the Masters, now the U.S. Open, and as well the Open to be played at Liverpool later this year.
Yeah.
It's really the first hiccup of the day for De Oliveira.
Yeah, just not a very well played hole. Just kind of put himself in jail with that tee shot. I love that, though, Andy. They move the tee up, get the guys to be a little aggressive, and you get punished if you don't pull it off.
Yeah, gave him a great hole location. You've got to understand how to get it there. You know, par 3s don't have to be 230 or 40 yards long to be difficult. We see some of the great par 3s in the world are the short ones.
All right, Kelvin Hernandez, number 8.
Easiest hole in the golf course in the first round. A little more difficult hole location today. Oh, he played a beautiful shot back into that back left corner. Not a lot of room around it. And he is pleased.
Back at 15, Tahara, crucial par putt as he tries to get to the weekend. His hands look good on the putter, don't they?
Good solid stroke. Yeah, absolutely. He looks very comfortable standing over it.
Back to our leader, Luis Carrera at the 8th.
We've seen players go off the 8th hole with driver. We've seen guys go with irons. Really a nice short hole. Nice short par 4. Gives you a lot of options. See different distances off the tee.
Okay. Julian cleans up. No mistake there. 6 under. You'd be happy too if you were 6 under.
Par 4 16th hole. Wind is into the players from the right. Bunker in the left comes into play. Palm trees on the right. Need to hit the ball in the fairway off the tee. Hole's cut in the back left-hand corner up over that back ridge. It's hard to judge how the wind's going to affect the second shot one away in the back because of all the trees in the right. It kind of looks like it's not blowing as hard as it actually is. Beautiful par 4. It's raining in the mountains, only 8-10 miles away.
Sounds of the game. Rustling of clubs, wind. Players alone with their thoughts. Yardage book.
This is a tough one here, guys. The tee is moved up about 20 yards, so it could play even more difficult, but it's uphill and back into the wind.
Colt, guys who played quickly, who comes to mind?
Oh man, Matt Every, Bill Haas, in my day, I mean Lee Trevino, back in Andy's day. I remember I recently saw a video of Lee Trevino at St. Andrews teeing off, and it was just a lot like this man right here. Just step up, put the peg in the ground, and let's go.
Lanny Watkins, Tom Watson, Fuzzy. Didn't mess around.
How'd they do?
They did okay.
You know, things have just seemed to slow down so much in the modern game. I mean, there's a lot more involvement with the caddies, sports psychologists, and all that, going through the process.
You know, Colt, I always thought that this pre-shot routine and process, it can be 15 seconds. It doesn't need to be 2 minutes.
Sure can. I promise when they're playing at home with their buddies, they don't take 2 minutes.
By the way, you saw Mateo's caddy, little fist bump after the bogey. Let's keep our head in the game. We're good. It's early in the championship. Now Tahira.
Yeah, you better have your wits together on this tee shot. This is a critical tee shot in this round.
I think this is such a well-designed hole. You see the bunker down the left, easy to bail out right, but then those palm trees get in your way.
Colt, isn't this tee protected a little bit if they don't feel quite as much of the wind as they maybe did on the last hole?
Definitely not as much as the last hole, but it's blowing hard enough right now. You feel it.
Now at the 8th, this his 17th hole of the day. Luis Carrera, the leader.
He has rolled the ball beautifully all day long, but this is not an easy putt. He's got to come up over a ridge right in this area.
Excellent.
Good speed control.
Back to De Oliveira. They love it.
As they should, right down the middle.
Not a lot of run, landed in a little soft area.
Had a couple of inches of rain early in the week, softened things up. Now back to Kelvin Hernandez. This birdie putt.
He played a fantastic second shot in here on the proper level. He can roll his ball. Boy, he is confident with the putter.
For the Puerto Rican faithful. Let's chat with the team coach director of golf here, Eduardito Figueroa. Puerto Rico so proud of all the young guys like Kelvin, and now Cancino for birdie at his last hole.
Catches a lot of hole. You've got to be really proud of the comeback this country's taken. Was devastated with the hurricane a few years back, and they have bounced all the way back.
They've endured quite a bit. Hurricane Maria 2017, but the sun shining at last on Puerto Rico. They're all beaming with pride, and well they should. And right now, it is a 2-shot lead for Luis Carrera of Mexico in the second round of the Latin America Amateur Championship from the Grand Reserve Golf Club in Rio Grande. Typically warm, sunny day here, January in Puerto Rico. Second round of the Latin America Amateur Championship. Take you to the 16th hole now. That's our featured group, and there's a 32-year-old from Panama, Omar Tejera, trying to make the cut.
He's got 153 yards. You know, he's very happy not to be in that fairway bunker, but this is not the easiest to fly. His ball well below his feet. Like I said, 153. Got to fly at least 148 to get it on that back shelf. Love that. Just a nice little chippy swing. That is just a great golf shot.
Kept it down out of the wind. Beautifully executed.
Tell you what, Andy, back here in the fairway, the wind is pretty much completely gone away at the moment.
But our camera's looking at these palm trees behind the green. It still is whipping up there.
Perico from 135, trying to draw it to this whole location.
Just staying on the green. A little bit of mud on his ball. We had a little bit of rain overnight. You can see a little bit of mud on the ball. Coming in quite steep. Big divot.
Andy, this is where you just have to commit, because down here in the fairway, like I said, there is zero wind, but you look up there and the flag and the trees are blowing by the green.
I think this has been maybe the most difficult hole to judge the wind, because all the trees in the right.
That from 133 on a very nice line.
3 nice plays. This is a tough par 4 and 3 birdie opportunities.
So from 15 to 54 in the field of 108. And here is the oldest guy in the field. This is our friend Alvaro Ortiz of Costa Rica. He's 54 years young. He can really play. He's a legend back in Costa Rica. He's played in every Latin America Amateur Championship. His best finish, tied for 4th in 2017 in Panama.
By one shot there. Yeah. Terrific guy in the real estate business in Costa Rica. He's won like 25 or 30 national tournaments there.
And young Franco Fernandez of Paraguay.
He is a hero to the younger players in Costa Rica.
Paul Chaplet from Costa Rica won the second. So here are the 4 that have played in every one. And Eric Morales, the distinct honor of hitting the opening tee shot yesterday from Puerto Rico, and he's having a good tournament. He's actually 3 under his first couple of holes, starting on the back 9 today, and 4 under for the championship.
Ordonez really excited that the event's coming to Panama next year. I'll bet you he gets to hit the first tee shot next year.
I would think so. Yeah. I think he's earned that.
He's a good player and really a wonderful guy, and
works at a club, right?
Been great. Actually, at Santa Maria, he's been involved there.
We are live with a featured group. The man in red has put on a show today. Julian Perico of Peru. Now how disappointed he was that because of COVID, the Latin America Amateur Championship was canceled a couple of years ago when it was supposed to go to Peru. And at least near term, any hopes of it going there again taken off the table because of the political unrest to the failed coup attempt by the former president. We talked to Julian about it. He has family back there. He's concerned, obviously. Right now, he's thrilled to be competing here at the highest level of amateur golf.
Boy, he gave that one plenty of speed. He's going to have a good 4.5 feet coming back for his par.
He's been really rock solid on all these 3, 4, 5 footers today. Throws them in with a lot of speed. There's a guy named Tom Watson that used to do that in his younger years. Well, sometimes wouldn't even hit the green from 4 feet. It'd just fly in the hole. If you hit him like that, you don't even have to line them up.
Every putt straight if you hit it hard enough.
Exactly right.
Back to Kelvin Hernandez. Here he is at the 9th, and Iona's there.
272 yards to go, but he's out of position in the palm tree, so you can see just advancing this ball down to find the short stuff again. He's got a really big support crowd out here, Hernandez. Well, he is definitely looking nowhere but the green. 270 yards on the button to the flag, and that breeze is coming down off the right, so it's going to help us get there. Beautiful lie in the fairway. This guy plays with real mean it. He gives 100% to every single shot.
Every bit of it on that one.
That'll be right at that right-hand bunker. Tons of green. Should be able to stop it very quickly back into what wind there is.
Tejera for birdie at 16. Again, fighting to make the weekend.
Big one to get to 2 over for the championship.
Hello there.
Yes, sir.
He has made 3 putts in a row that were just dead center.
And you're right. You see that little fist pump. He knows exactly where he is and what he needs to do. De Oliveira to get to 9.
Should move a little right early, then try to straighten as it slows down. Just a gorgeous putting stroke.
Yeah. Right in the heart.
Two beautiful putts. That was a nice birdie after really the sloppy bogey at 15.
Caddy doing his job. I think about that fist bump on the tee. Come on, let's keep our head in the game. He responds with a birdie. Julian with the par. This has been good to watch today, Andy.
Yeah, that's totally different types of games, but they're getting it done.
And again, 3 guys we circled among others, but 3 that we circled at the start of the week. Certainly Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira, Julian because he's been there so often, both highly ranked, and then Luis Carrera based on his play in the last year.
Fantastic par 3 today. Tough hole location in the right-hand corner of the green. Almost 230 yards. Wind's a little different direction. It's more helping the players. Generally, it's more out of the right. But that's not really a bonus. There's not a lot of room to land it over there. You landed at that up around the hole. It's probably going to go over the green.
I agree with you, Andy. It is pretty much straight downwind right now. I think you're really looking at that front number over there on the right side of this green, which is about 215 yards for the players.
I think you could ride the wind and hit it over the screen very easily.
Nothing wrong with something that comes up maybe a step or 2 short of the front. Pretty straightforward up and down. Take your 3 and move over to 18.
I think that's a great plan. And if the problem is, you bail out toward the middle of the green, which is kind of the normal idea here. You're left with a 50 or 60 footer that's not an easy 2-putt. You're going up to another level on the right corner of the green.
I agree with you on that. I think the play is to go honestly right at it and just play a couple yards short. Well, this is just right of the hole.
Just like you want him to play it, Colt. That was perfectly done.
Sometimes these young kids listen to me.
That was a poor layup by Kelvin Hernandez at the 9th. He's having to play backwards.
Just trying to get it back into the fairway. What a bad break that was. All he could do. Tries to go the other direction. Probably going to hurt yourself. Yeah.
Take your medicine. Even if it's unsweetened NyQuil, take it. De Oliveira.
This doesn't look like very much club. I mentioned it's 229 yards to the hole. This looks like no more than 5, maybe 6 iron. But he's lost this one right. This was not solidly struck.
He got a great bounce off the downhill slope. He's got a pretty straightforward little pitch. Good break.
Yeah, got a little bit out of that. And now back to Kelvin at the 9th.
It'd be nice to hit a good iron here. Give yourself a great chance to save par. That away. Got it. Still can save par.
Maturity.
It's going to be fun to watch his college golf career. I think he's got a chance to be a real special player.
Perico at 17.
Wasting no time at all. This one is very high and no surprises right at it.
Just trickles 10, 12 feet by the hole. What another good play. He is playing some golf today.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Carrera at the 9th.
Pretty straightforward. Land it. Let it run down that slope. Still a very makeable birdie.
You know, we're seeing more and more polish on these games, Andy. Every year that we come to the Latin America Amateur Championship, this time in Puerto Rico. Final hole of the day now for Kelvin Hernandez. Let's see if he can dig out a gutsy par.
Swish.
Oh,
man,
yes.
Can he roll his ball?
Yes, he can. 17-year-old from Puerto Rico.
Awesome.
He might have a chance at it. We'll see. Back to 17.
D. Oliveira electing to chip this one, carrying a little bit of speed.
We really got fortunate with the big hop he got to get the ball in that position, setting up a pretty simple pitch for him.
I recommend those watching at home to putt that.
Carrera at that 9th hole.
This for a round of 6 under, 66. He's going to have to settle for back-to-back 67s. What a great way to get the championship started. Complete control of his game, a lot of quality shots, made key putts when he had to.
He started the championship with 2 bogeys in his first 3 holes yesterday, 7 birdies from there for that 67 clean card today. For the moment, young man from Mexico and the University of Central Florida is leading Latin America Amateur Championship. Back at 17 now. Tejera just to get it back to 3.
Birdies on 2 of his last 3 holes. Another really good roll. We'll go left a little bit. He's worked his way back inside the cut line. Par at 18, I think he's going to be just fine.
Rico. Didn't have enough, no.
Seven under on his round today. 6 under on his round today, excuse me, without really making any putts, any bombs of any kind.
He did hit the shot of the day, almost made albatross double eagle at the par 5 14th.
He's always looking for someone to talk to.
And now De Oliveira to stay at 9. Okay, and to clarify, Omar Tejera is at 2 over par, and for the moment right on the cut line. The lead is at 10, so De Oliveira from Argentina only 1 behind. Friday afternoon here in beautiful Puerto Rico at the Latin America Amateur Championship. Final hole for this featured group, and Omar Tejera. He's kept himself in the game, Andy.
And he's taking a 3-wood here, Colt. Don't get too excited about that cut, run over par. There's only 50 players exactly right now. With the wind blowing 2 over, will be just fine. If he can make par, he'll be okay. Going with 3-wood, Colt. He could possibly hit the driver through the fairway with his right to left wind. Sorry, Colt has some issues right now, but just take it down the right-hand side, wind right to left. Just put it in the fairway, set up a short iron. Another potential birdie at 18 from this front tee. They've done a nice job setting the golf course up. They've moved the tee up on a couple of the more difficult holes. Make sure we get play around. 3-wood off this tee is a good play.
You can see what a seasoned player he is.
It's a great looking 3-wood coming, very low, hits it dead solid in the middle, no divot, nice sweeping motion.
Ok, sí, el filo derecho del fairway también me gusta. Ahí que lo cierro un poco. Sí, mucho fácil izquierda, así que me encanta eso.
by moving the tee up, the players really have to be a little concerned with hitting it through the fairway. There's a penalty area long left on this fairway. Get it working with the wind, it can go a long way. Hole can play in the 450, 460 range. It's playing 411 today. Ooh, concerned going down the right-hand side, but it is just fine now. And that was pulled left. He's going to be okay. There are a couple of palm trees in the way. It shouldn't be blocked out, but once you get it right in the wind, it's going long and left.
While we have a moment, let's go down to John Sutcliffe with our leader.
Rich, with Luis Carrera, ¿qué significa? What does it mean to give yourself this opportunity, llegar a 10 bajo par, to be 10 under?
Pues la verdad es en inglés. Okay, sorry. It's good. It's nice. I'm just enjoying it, and this is the position that you probably want to be.
So there's a great story. You won Vancouver, the Canadian Amateur. You show up and you see your childhood friend there working at the club. How's that story go?
Yeah, it was crazy. After the third round, I saw him at the range. Like, he came up to me, and I couldn't believe he was over there. Like, last time I saw him was in Mexico City, and then I saw him again there, and he asked me if I had a caddy for the next day for the final round, and I was like, no, you want to come over? And he was like, sure. And he caddied for me, and we were very fortunate to win the tournament.
Rodrigo Peña was that caddy, childhood friend from Luis. Just what it means to be caddying this week with everything that's at stake.
Well, we are going step by step. Still lots of golf left, but other than that, it's a pleasure to caddy my friend. And we're so happy, we're very comfortable, and I'm basically babysitting him.
Okay. So Luis,
my little brother.
El hermanito Luis. So what does it take? What's the strategy coming into the weekend?
I mean, I'm just enjoying my golf game. That's all. That's all my strategy, to be honest. Like, that's all it is.
Thank you. And you know something? If Luis gets it done on Sunday, he would be playing the Open Championship, the Masters, the Canadian Open, the U.S. Open, and the Mexican Open. Not bad. And the Open. Muchos abiertos.
I love that. Caddy says, I'm just babysitting out here. That's an honest admission. When you guys throwing darts like that, not much more to do, but enjoy it.
I think it's how calm he was. You know, it's I'm just playing golf. I'm just enjoying myself. I'm just doing what I could do. And he showed it on the golf course. He had so many quality shots. He made a couple of key putts when he needed to.
What a shot.
A lot of good iron play.
I'm hearing it from more and more players. You say, hey, what's your plan? They'll say, I'm just going to go enjoy.
You can't get ahead of yourself.
Right.
I mean,
Release the pressure a little bit. Have fun.
You start getting ahead of yourself, you've got a lot of problems. And they're really a little unlucky there. That would have been very close to the hole. But he is locked in with his iron play.
Yeah, when a shot can be too good, it's the stick.
This is a par 5 where he hit it. Chipped it over the green. No big deal. Let's just drain it right in the middle of the hole. Perfect speed. And then 9th, par 5. A little disappointed he didn't hit a better second shot, put himself in a little better position to get it up and in, but a decent putt, just didn't go in. And let's go have a nice interview with John Sutcliffe.
And if you're from Mexico, you're a young athlete, you know who John Sutcliffe is. Monday Night Football fame. Now Julian Perico.
A little jammed up. This from 167. He's hung this right.
Don't know if that may have caught the bunker or just missed the green on the right. Much longer second shot than he needed.
All right, now Tejera. Let's bring in Colt.
Guys, if you hit the fairway here at the 18th, I mean, this pin is just begging to be attacked. Sitting right in the middle of the green. Tejera's got just 138 left. Would love another birdie just to maybe make that afternoon nap a little more pleasant.
Well, I'd love to see him play the shot like he played at 16 where he flighted it in. You know, that kind of chippy, almost looks like a long chip shot that he played. I think that'd be a great shot here. Wind howling from right to left.
We're told the cuts move now to 2 over par, 58 at that number right now, and that's where Omar is.
He'd love to make a birdie here, but he's also in the back of his mind knowing you do not make a mistake here. We've got to get in with a par. Throw it out to the right, let the breeze bring it in.
He did go with that little chippy swing. That's a solid shot.
He's played some beautiful golf here these last 5 or 6 holes when his back was against the wall. He was 4 over par.
De Oliveira.
It's go time here. Just 118 left. Wind pretty much just straight right to left.
Colt, that was a big, big driving iron he hit off the tee.
Yeah, it seemed like he really didn't like it, but it ended up just perfect. I think this is one you throw out there about 15, 20 feet right of it, let the wind move it, and once it hits the green, it should also spin left.
Okay. Bandera Bolivia. Vale.
He's pulled this. This needs to get down. That's not very good from there.
And that's up on top of a different ledge. He's going to have to come down that a pretty decent little slope.
Once again, let's go back down to John.
Thank you, Rich. Kelvin, the fact that you started the tournament 3 over after 5, and now after 2 days, you're in position at 5 under. What it means to be able to battle from a tough start.
Yeah, yesterday I was anxious my first couple of holes. I've never been in such a big stage, so I controlled myself. I managed myself on hole 6. I was talking with my caddy, and I was like, just get back to your tempo, get back to your pace, and that's what I did. I made a couple of pars coming in, and then I shot 4 under on the back nine, which helped a lot. Today I kept the same game plan. I was hitting greens. Putter was hot today, so that helped a lot in the round. So yeah, I'm excited for the weekend.
What does it mean that you have volunteers, golfers, Puerto Ricans that are here, seeing your flag, just the emotion that you must be feeling in your home country, trying to get it done for them?
Yeah, I'm super proud. I'm happy for everyone that's come out to see me, friends, family, friends from school, volunteers. I'm very happy for them, and thank you to all of the people that come out and watch me. It gets me pumped up, so thank you guys, and hope you can come in the weekend.
Perfecto. Felicidades. Que tengas buen fin de semana. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Kelvin.
Wouldn't that be some story if he was around on Sunday afternoon? Now some highlights. And by the way, he mentioned the rough start, day number 1. He was 3 over his opening 9, and he 8 under since then.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good things, but it has been the putter that's carried him on. And this is the 9th hole. This really shows a lot of maturity. Hit it in that bunker, buried in the lip, had to come out sideways, played his 4th to there, and knocks that putt in for a par. Really, that's the kind of situation where the young player can get a little bit ahead of himself, and he didn't, and great job.
Puerto Rico with the most players in this field of 108, followed by Brazil, Colombia, and Argentina. You love the way that Kelvin at 17 carries himself. Hat off, big smile, good interview, well-spoken. He's a credit to all those who helped get him here in Puerto Rico. We mentioned the coach, Eduardito Figueroa, and so many others who are rightfully proud on this day, this week. And now, from Argentina, Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira. Let's go back down to Colt once again.
I was not very happy with that wedge shot walking up here. This putt coming down a pretty severe slope, but dead back into the wind, so not going to be quite as fast as it normally is. And normally we see him pretty spot on with his wedges, so that was a pretty big miss. But Andy, I followed him most of the day, and I mean, I would be really shocked if he's not a factor in this championship come Sunday.
I agree 100%. He's doing a lot of good things. He's in control. He's got a caddy that he's worked with before, that they work well together. And this club is solid as a rock.
Just seems like he has that type of game that doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Low down, slow.
That being said,
yeah, a little more.
He runs it 5 feet back.
Right, a little more than I think he would have liked coming back. We'll have that to stay a shot behind Luis Carrera.
Second half of the field to tee off. They're now just getting started. Their day started. Sitting around, waiting, looking outside, seeing the wind blow 20 miles an hour or so. You know it's going to be in for a tough afternoon.
Hera, we've detailed his afternoon trying to make this cut. There is another good story brewing. We'll get to it in just a second with respect to that cut line.
Well, Omar has fought extremely hard today. You know, it's never fun being on that cut line, but it's been really cool to see how he performs under that pressure.
He's performed beautifully. Once he was 4 over par, he's played some wonderful golf since then. He's hit some really good putts. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this went in.
Give it to him.
Yeah, and you can see the game of a former professional. Reinstated as an amateur, had herniated discs in his neck, couldn't continue, successful as a business person in his early 30s back in Panama, loving amateur golf. Now that other story with respect to the cut line, Jean-Philippe Mayhew of Haiti, 21 years old, is currently inside the cut line, just a couple of holes to play. Could be the first representing Haiti to ever make the cut at the Latin Am. Now to get to 9. Oh, yes.
That was a par save. He missed it to the right. Yep, but a wonderful up and in. He made some great par putts today.
Yeah. I believe that's the longest putt he's made all day.
Yeah. He was rock solid on those 8 feet and in. You don't shoot a lot of 66s without holing up some pretty decent putts. Well, he did today. He didn't make much of anything.
Who don't want to be pals with Julian Perico? That picture says a lot right there. I said he's the one, you know, has sort of been embraced by all of us who've gotten to know him since he was a 17-year-old back in 2017. That great round of 64 finish, won back that year. Now de Oliveira for par.
Right in the middle of the hole, no problem. Yeah, he's going to be a factor over this weekend, and I would think Perico would be also. Teammates at Arkansas. Basically, it's Team Arkansas chasing Carrera.
More than teammates, they're brothers. They've been through a lot. They've traveled the amateur golf circuit for the last 6, 7, 8 years all across the region.
Well, you see these players from different countries. Well, it's very much like in the States, from different states. They're, you know, close enough. They travel. They play in a lot of the tournaments. They travel together. They're great friends, and obviously now teammates at Arkansas.
That was really a treat. We got to see two of the best from the region together today, and then a really polished guy in Omar Tejera.
He really showed a lot playing those last 5 or 6 holes after making a bogey to go to 4 over. He outside the cut by a couple of shots. And here's the putt on the last, just right in the middle of the hole. Hit 3 beautiful birdie putts and a good par putt in the last 5 holes. Need to work on the high five. Almost knocked the hat off. Sometimes those slow motion shots make you look pretty silly, but lunch is going to taste a lot better finishing that way.
What a day, huh?
Wouldn't be a surprise if he goes out and has a great weekend, shoots 6, 7, 8 under par.
I was like, how did that not go in? All right, absolutely. That's all right, bro.
Talk about that shot at 14. How did that not go in? That was a sensational second of the par 5 that hit the flagstick. He ended up making eagle. Yes, what a day at the Latin America Amateur Championship. The Latin America Amateur Championship is brought to you by UPS. Be unstoppable. 3M Science, applied to life. Delta Airlines. Delta, keep climbing. And Rolex. Now at 18, and another Puerto Rican standout, Geronimo Esteve. He won the Caribbean Amateur right here at Rio Grande a couple of years ago. Had a decorated amateur career going all the way back to his days in the Ivy League. He played at Dartmouth. Successful. His family in the automobile business. Was top 10 a year ago at Casa de Campo. And he's played the Puerto Rico Open twice on this golf course.
And a lot of the younger Puerto Rican players really look up to him. He's like a hero in their eyes. He's done it all. He still loves coming out here and competing with the youngsters. Ordonez.
And similarly back in Panama, Miguel is a guy that the youngsters look up to.
He is absolutely so fired up about going home. Hosting this tournament next year. He's struggled a little bit these first 2 rounds, but really a solid guy. Really jumped to the forefront when we were in Panama the last time. He had great story. Played some great golf that week.
Sawed off action right there, but bunkered. So Geronimo Esteve. Here is a beloved figure in golf circles on the island here in Puerto Rico, Geronimo Esteve, 41 years old. He's done it all in the amateur ranks here and across the Caribbean. In fact, won the Caribbean Amateur, Andy, right here on this golf course a couple of years ago.
He's played at a bunch of the Puerto Rican Opens on this golf course. Terrific businessman in the car business. A hero to the younger players. Let's see if he can stuff one and make a birdie. Trying to hold it off back into right to left wind. Spin. Yeah, great shot. Well done.
Big-hearted guy, leader of the 9-strong Puerto Rican contingent, most of any country or territory in this year's field. Talked about the pride they have, no doubt. Sidney Wolf, president of the Puerto Rico Golf Association, is beaming as well. They worked hard to bring this championship here, and in light of what the island has endured, what with COVID, depended on tourism, the economy taking a big hit, and then Hurricane Maria in 2017, you can understand why the joy was palpable throughout the week and I know into the weekend.
I remember last year when they announced we were coming to Puerto Rico, they were so fired up and so excited to be able to host. There's so much pride in the Caribbean to be able to host this championship.
Well, they have so much flavor in whatever it is that they do, music, art, sports. Miguel Cotto was at the junior clinic earlier this week along with one of the greatest catchers in baseball history, the Hall of Famer Pudge Rodriguez. And Miguel said simply, when asked about the island's coming, he says, we're warriors. We have a warrior spirit here. So they combine it with kind of a party, good time spirit as well. And that's reflected, I know, in Geronimo. I've gotten to know him. Just a big-hearted guy.
Tough bunker shot, long bunker shot. He's got to land on the downslope. He flew it past that, so now he's going to have about a 15-footer for par save.
So Juan Velasquez of Colombia.
Great experience for these youngsters. Even if you don't play your best, get to see some of the best players, amateur golf, under tough conditions on a big stage. And again, thank you for the Masters Tournament, the R&A, and the USGA for all they've done to get this event created. And the fact that the winner of this event gets to play in their championship is amazing. Doing his for birdie. Finish out this week on a positive note. Not going to be pleased. 6 over par, but what an experience. And he's played in every one of these. He's got to take an awful lot of pride in that.
He says one of his most memorable moments, one he'll never let go of, is that one of the Augusta National members had followed him when the Latin Am was at Panama Golf Club in 2017 and told Miguel after the round that Chairman Payne wanted to meet him and congratulated him. And he said that remains one of the great thrills of my life. And I know Chairman Payne has always been, and it continues to this day with Chairman Ridley, that just evangelical in their belief that they have an obligation to get back to the game, to grow the game, and leave it in a better spot.
And they're doing it
than where it is and was.
Absolutely, and they've taken that on, and they've backed it up.
It's legitimate, Andy. Look, I know there are a lot of cynics in the world, but you and I have seen it. It is pure.
And they decided early on they were going to take care of the expenses for these young men coming in here and playing, and because there's a lot of these guys that can't afford to do this, and it put them in a position that they're getting to play golf against the best in this part of the world, and the improvement and the quality of golf is ramped up significantly. Let's see if Stevie can knock this one in, finish up with a couple under for the championship. Not a lot in this putt. Wind from his left to right, which might actually help it break a little bit from left to right. It may have been enough just to hold it out of the hole. Nice try, but 1 under for the first 36. Still in the mix.
His 7th Latin America amateur appearance. He's been all over the world playing this great game. World Amateur Team Championships as Ordonez finishes out. Geronimo's played in Turkey, in Japan, in Ireland. And another veteran. Well, we have a moment. Let's go down to John Sutcliffe.
Gracias with Mateo and Julián Perico. What it means to get in position after battling so many years to try and get this tournament, what it means to have your chance on the weekend, Mateo.
It feels pretty good. I think I played some good golf these first 2 rounds, so I'm looking forward to the weekend to keep doing what I'm doing. So just 2 more rounds and hopefully get it done.
Señor, you were sick in the South American. What it means to feel good and be playing good.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, I had a scary down in Ecuador for sure. I wasn't feeling too good, and I was able to withdraw from the tournament, unfortunately, get better, and feeling better now, definitely, and I mean, very motivated, right? So it feels great.
So I'm here in the middle of Arkansas, boys. Let's say we're at the stadium. ¿Qué se dice? What do you say at the stadium? ¿Cómo es? Big. Okay, guys.
That will be clipped off momentarily by the digital department down at the University of Arkansas, and, in their great athletic program right there. 2 Razorbacks are right in the mix here in the Latin America Amateur Championship. Well, I really enjoyed this. Great thanks to Sellers, Shy, and Mike Crow, leading all of the hardworking women and men in the truck and on the ground. For my partner, the 2-time U.S. Open champ Andy North, Colt Knost, Iona Stephen, and the one and only John Sutcliffe, I'm Rich Lerner. We hope you'll join us on the weekend for one of the great amateur events in the world, the Latin America Amateur Championship from beautiful Puerto Rico.